So today seems the day to talk about hope and compassion because many of us, some of us, probably clearly not all of us, may be feeling really upset about the result in the UK elections. And I mean, if I'm honest, this morning when I went onto Twitter to check out what had happened, and I got a sense that, yeah, the Conservatives are back in again, I cried. I cried. So then I started thinking about, well, if I'm feeling like this, then how's everyone else feeling? And I started to read some of the tweets, and people are really, really scared. Some people are really venting. People are very, very anxious about what it means for them, but also for everyone else, particularly those who were already struggling. So I allowed myself to feel, yeah, to just feel really sad. And then I thought, you know what? This isn't going to help anybody. Me feeling sad is totally permissible, but what I really need to do is put a hell of a lot of compassion out there, because this is a time when this is what we need to be modeling for our children. Because if they see, feel, and hear us really stressing about this, having lots of high anxiety conversations, kicking off, sounding off, it's going to scare them. This is something I'm struggling to understand and believe is a real thing. So you can be certain that a child can make no sense of this. But of course, what they will feel is the energy around them from the adults around them. So it's very, very important that we really ground ourselves. And you know what? What has already happened has already happened. And the most important thing to do now, hard at it as it is to focus on right now, this moment. As with everything in life, we don't actually know what this means. I mean, we know, in terms of what's happened before, and we know what's written in words all over social media and on bits of paper. So those things we think we know, they are written down, but it's not going to help us. So going crazy over what's happened can't help us because it has happened. It's already in the past. And projecting our fears into the future, again, it won't help us. And if it's not helping us, it's definitely not helping our children. So I allowed myself to feel sad. I allowed myself to cry. I've had a few moments like that this morning. I covered myself in, I'm trying to find the label, console, because this is an amazing blend for sadness. So it doesn't just immediately wipe it out, but it just allows it to settle in you and move through you. And sure enough, it's gone on its way for now. And then my lovely friend was messaging me, and he was saying that he is smothered in hope. And I thought, oh yes, of course, that's the other obvious oil I need to be, the blend of oils I need to be rolling on me now, particularly across my heart, is hope. Because I am a really hopeful person. I'm genuinely, I'm not full of positivity, because for me that's a very false energy. But my hope lies in yourselves. You are raising the children who are going to go on and live in this world that we are creating. So that said, I am hopeful, but it really means at the moment, well, not just at the moment, but forevermore, that we as the adults need to be showing this is a time of compassion for ourselves and our feelings, compassion that we show in the world. So if the children see you behaving in a way when you go to the playground later, maybe to pick them up, not having a big explosion about this, or ranting or catastrophizing it, but just sharing the message that, yeah, this is a real thing. So we need to focus on more compassion in the world to everyone we meet every day. You know, being kind to the person who serves us in the shop, being kind to the person who bumps into us in the queue, being kind to our colleagues when maybe they are struggling to be kind. Definitely, obviously, being kind to our children. Treating ourselves with compassion, watching what we say to ourselves about ourselves. You know, I honestly believe that real change always comes from the bottom up, and that if we commit, each one of us, to being, you know, we're already compassionate beings, but maybe we didn't focus on that quite enough. I now feel like, oh my goodness, I was a fool. I should have just been really focusing on radiating out compassion into the world, you know, because at the end of the day, we're all just atoms. Human beings are made up of atoms, which a while ago I had never even occurred to me. But now that I know it, I'm like, oh yeah, of course, we are atoms. That's what makes up our cells, which what makes up the tissues and the organs in our body, which make up our body. Oh yeah, that totally makes sense. So if we live bringing ourselves back to, okay, how can I be kind about this? How can I find something compassionate to think about this person? Then that's what we put out into the world. So let's try really, really hard. Be really careful what we're saying around the children, because they're very sensitive to our energy. It's scary for them. They can't really understand it. Be careful what we're modeling to the children about, okay, sometimes things happen in life which really rock us. They rock us back on our heels. For me, this is one of those days. Brexit was another one. How do I show up when stuff like this happens? Do I blame, shout, swear, carry on, kick the door, decide to have a bad day, rant about this for weeks to come every time I meet anyone? I mean, what does that show our children? Or do I demonstrate, yeah, I have some real feelings about this, but you know what? I'm going to focus on what I can do in my daily life. How can I be kinder, but authentically kinder? I don't mean rushing around seeing who you can help, but just in every act and moment of your day. But of course, always to yourself as well, because the children are watching that too. They watch, they feel, they pick up on how compassionate you are to yourself. So if they hear you giving yourself a really hard time because you just forgot to buy the pasta when you were shopping or whatever it is, then they will do that to themselves. So it always comes back to the most beautiful thing, which is we are our children's first teachers and their most powerful teachers. And that, in my humble opinion, is how we change the world and we turn this ship around, and let's head it in the direction of extra compassion and hold real hope in our hearts and also with me all over my body. So take care of yourselves in this time of, you know, potential wobble for many of us again, and take care of the children.